This episode gave us a lot. Like a lot. It was 1 hour long. Like by the end, I felt fed and full. And then... But I mean, I think we all know why they did that. I think we all know why he had to die. Don't we? Hello everyone, my name is Joe. Welcome back to the channel of Delusional Theories, where I review all of the shows in existence. Today I will be talking about Criminal Minds Season 18 or Criminal Minds Evolution Season 3 Episode 2. Where a lot happened. I'm sorry to tell you, a lot happened. The way that I will divide this video is by discuss Voit shenanigans, including his lawyer's shenanigans, which are connected shenanigans. Then discussing the unsub of the episode, which can potentially my most hated unsub of them all. And 3, discuss their personal lives. Because apparently, it's all we get these days. We get like the 15 extra minutes that leads us up to an hour is just personal lives. And listen, when we first started this episode, I was thinking, why do I need to see this? Why do I need to see this? Why do I need to see them in bed? Why am I seeing this? Why? But then they showed us the other members of the team, and I realized, okay, I understand why they're showing us this. They're showing what the team is doing when they find out that Voit woke up. I understand. Voit wakes up, and baby boy serial killer of the decade doesn't have his memory. Doesn't have, like, he has a lot of cognitive deficits to the point that he can't goddamn speak. And they do a battery, which means a lot of tests. And it kind of seems to be true. Voit seems to have lost his memory. And then at certain points, he seems to recall certain important information, pivotal information about his crimes, which just makes it all seem very unbelievable. And I have theories about this. I will discuss them, but the fact that the moment he saw Rossi, he called him dad. I love that moment because, you see, I'm a something is up with this apologist, and I think something is up with this, and the fact that Voit called Rossi is that. By the way, this little post-it is my idea for my Handmaid's Tale video of this week. It's not gonna be a theory, it's gonna be like an exploration of characters. But anyway, I am with Rossi and Luke on this one. Many times in last season I criticized Rossi because he was clearly not doing well, and I'm still not okay with the way they resolved that. I'm still not okay with the idea that his PTSD just went away without him doing any consultation at all. Like he didn't go to therapy consults. But I agree with Rossi. This is way too convenient. And I said in my last video that I was smelling a oh my god, how do you call that thing? Dissociative personality disorder plot coming down the line, and I will explore that theory because I think it's still viable. But with this plot twist, they are kind of rehashing another unsub we had, I think in season 5 or something like that. I think it was already with Rossi on the team, where they caught this unsub, but he fell from a building and he was in a coma for the longest time. Then he woke up, he had no memories, but through the process of going to court and having all of these interviews to recall his memories, he started remembering. However, his personality was different. Like, he wasn't the same man who was caught for all those crimes. He was a good, decent man. Somehow. So when his memories came back, he was very repentant of what he had done. He was very regretful. And I don't remember if he died or if he was like judged in court or something. But they're rehashing that unsub with Voit being the serial killer that was in a coma and now doesn't remember his crimes. And potentially, because, oh my god, I didn't even realize how much they were rehashing this. Because when Voit wakes up, his brain, from all the tests, now apparently feels empathy. The psychopathic killer. And by the way, By the way, just in case that you need a refresher on everything that Voit has done, I have a video coming. I'm gonna link it here. I mean, I don't know if I can link it because I will post it after this video. I was meant to post it yesterday, but YouTube screwed me over or whatever. This is the thumbnail. It'll come today or tomorrow. Just so you can remember everything Voit did. Because apparently, now that he has woken up, not only does he now remember his crimes, his personality has changed because now he has the capacity to feel empathy. It's completely a rehash of that one Unsub from season 5, I think. I'm not okay with that. And because I'm not okay with rehashing this Unsub, and because I don't trust Voit, and I don't think... I don't trust this. I mean, have we forgotten that the way that he woke up last episode was by clawing someone's neck? How does he feel empathy? So I have another theory. And it's the dissociative personality theory, which I hate. I loathe with all of my being, but I see how they could be doing this. Because we met Voit in season 16, as you can see in this video, as Lee Duval. Lee Duval was a little boy who potentially offed his parents and then went to live with his uncle, his serial killer uncle, and then he learned everything from his uncle. And at some point in time, in the early 2000s, he no longer was Lee Duval and he became Elias Voit and he stole this dead guy identity. So are they going through, are they going to go in this direction of something happened to Lee Duval? Not just the fact that he left his uncle behind and whatever, something major happened to Lee Duval that he could no longer be Lee Duval and the personality of Elias Voit came to be. Is this the bullshit they're going to play with us? And now that he has woken up, even though he might have woken up as Elias Voit because he clawed someone's neck, now he is Lee Duval, and that's why he can feel empathy. Is this the bullshit they're going to play? I don't even know if that's possible with DPD, but I really hope they don't pull this bullshit. I really hope they don't do it. What I want to happen is that Voit is goddamn faking it. I hope he's faking it. I hope the little hints that he's dropping are just to toy with the team, because he calls Rossi his dad, and then at some point he remembers 2nd Street, you know, the place where he committed all his crimes. I hope it's all fake. I hope he's faking it. And I know what you're asking, girl, if he's faking it, how in the world are the results of the tests like this? How is he passing the tests? The interviews he could pass, but the scans, the brain scans would have to be faked or forged. So that would imply that someone in his network is working at the hospital to forge his results. And the only person who could do it is the doctor who is working closely with him, because when we see the imaging of his brain firing in the empathy zones, it's like live. The thing is happening as he's being questioned. So the doctor would have had to fake that. It's a stretch. I understand it's a stretch, but that's what I want. And it could technically happen because the other aspect of this episode that I will discuss now about his lawyer is that his network is still alive. His network is alive. So what happened? Basically, oh my God, I'm going to have to tell you the backstory of this goddamn lawyer, Vincent Orlov, which from now on I'll be calling Vinny. Vinny. I have no idea where that came from, but it made me laugh, so it's staying in. Vinny was Elias Voit's lawyer. Sorry, I thought the mic was going to fall off because I have books underneath my mic. Vinny was Elias Voit's lawyer. You know what it is? I'm just imagining Vinny from Jersey Shore. By the way, for any of you who are confused by my accent, that sometimes I sound very American and sometimes I don't sound American at all, it's because I grew up watching Jersey Shore at the same time as I was watching Harry Potter. So sorry about that. I'm not actually sorry. And I was too young to be watching that. But anyway, Vinny is Elias Voigt's lawyer. And Vinny, the menace of the millennium as well, met Voit through his network on the dark web. And I will explain how this happened a little bit more when we talk about the unsub of this episode. Vinny met Elias Voit through the network. He convinced him to get in contact with him, and eventually he became his lawyer for the Sicarios case where he was accused of being the Sicarios serial killer. So Vinny was with Voit throughout the whole thing. And throughout the whole thing, where Voit was allegedly in prison, Vinny was carrying out tasks for him. He was doing him favors on the outside. He helped him get into contact with the Gold Star team, for example. And I said this in my previous video. I said this in one video. In this video, I'll put it right here, that potentially Vinny could have been helping Voit in other things. He could have been doing other things for him, potentially managing his network of serial killers from the outside of the prison. So this is who Vinny is. He was Elias Voigt's lawyer. He was helping Voit with tasks regarding his network of serial killers in the dark web. And currently, because Voit was sent to his minimum security prison, where he was attacked, then put into a coma, and now woken up. And all throughout all of this that is happening to Voit, Vinny is still a lawyer on the outside. And by the point where we touch point with him in this episode, baby boy Vinny is on the run. This is what we find out in this episode of Criminal Minds. There was a raid done on his apartment and office place, and they were all vacant, he was gone. So this is what we get from Vinny, and what Vinny gives the team is his hard drive, because he's not that smart and he left it behind. So Garcia does hacker magic on it and uncovers some communication. Vinny is using Voigt's network, basically. And it's kind of implied throughout the episode that Vinny is kind of impersonating Voigt, maybe, or using Voigt's contacts, because he is in contact with other people in Voigt's network. I will get to it later because it's important for the conclusion to Voigt's arc of this episode, which, as you can tell by my little laugh, will be hilarious. So they get this information from the hard drive, and the one person that Vinny is in contact with recently is this asshole Unsub, which is the Unsub of this season, this episode, the Zookeeper. The Zookeeper is not only an Unsub in the dark web, in the dark network of Voigt serial killers, but is also the person who is helping, supposedly, Vinny escape. But before we get to that, I need to make a point about this, because the worst possible thing that could have ever happened in this season of television, the worst possible thing did happen in this episode. No, I'm not talking about Will's death. I will get to it though. Tyler, bane of my existence, Green, is staying at the BAU. I was criticizing them so goddamn hard for allowing Tyler to stay there with absolutely zero freaking experience, after every single person we met that entered the BAU had years, potentially decades of experience in some specific field or another. And now they are allowing Tyler to come in. Hated it. The fact that they killed one of the best romantic interests in the series and they kept Tyler? Criminal. The Criminal Minds writers need a cell right next to Voit. But we all know why they're doing this, right? We all saw the torso on the previews, didn't we? We all know who's going to come to comfort JJ. We were all there in season 15 when they pulled that bullshit with JJ and another agent in the BAU. We all saw that cringy ass pathetic moment when they are under gunpoint from a serial killer and for some reason he asks them to play truth or dare, but just to say truth. And JJ has that revelation. 15 years later, after a marriage and 2 kids, she has that revelation when she could have done it 15 years early when we all wanted it. And she did it then because the ratings were probably dropping and they needed it. We all saw the bullshit they pulled. And now this. His return better be good. Better be good. Better be good. But anyway, Tyler is staying at the unit and working with Garcia. Tyler and Garcia have absolutely zero chemistry. I will die on this hill, okay? And honestly, Tyler, I mean, I will get to it. But when he was there and the guy had the goddamn razor blade on his hand, Tyler had so many minutes. Tyler had so much time to shoot his hand or his shoulder or his arm or his other arm or his leg or somewhere to make him distracted from the blade on his hand. And he was just like, and he was just there, please put it down. Please, serial killer who doesn't want to go to jail and would rather die than go to jail. Please put it down. Tyler. Anyway, I dropped my post-it. Wait a minute. JJ and Dave are on the Vinny trail. They went to look for him at a tanning place. They find nothing. But after they catch the second Unsub, which I will get to in a second, Garcia does her magic hacking and realizes that he is using the same shit that Voit used on his dark network, that Vinny is using on Voit's dark network, that the previous Unsub was using on Voit's dark network. So they all seem to be Voit's minions. And they have this theory that potentially maybe Voit activated them before he went to prison, or someone else is activating them on his behalf, potentially Vinny. So, this part is so funny. I want you all to watch this video and remember what I'm about to say when you watch that part about Rossi almost pissing in Voit's car. I want you to remember this part. Voit is apparently confusing Rossi for his father. But when they have interactions, Voit's improvement accelerates. So his connection to his father, Rossi, is helping Voit heal. So Rossi agrees to roleplay Daddy Voit to help Voit heal so he can remember what in the world is happening with his network. I'm gonna have so much fun with this season, you guys. And you know what? We know this won't last because we saw the previews. In the previews, Rossi shoves Voit how many times? And Voit has a red jumpsuit and is going to prison, and on his way to prison, he chokes someone, and at some point, he's wearing normal clothes, so if he lost his memory, he will get it back, and he will still be a serial killer because he will still choke someone on the way to the prison. And if he's faking it, he will make it out of the prison because we see Voit. We see Voit. So that's Voit's part of this episode. It's been 20 minutes. Jesus, I'm so sorry, you guys. The next part is gonna be quick. Anyway, Unsub number 2, Unsub of the current episode, bane of my existence, another one. Potentially the most hateful Unsub of them all because it's just a little pathetic little idiot that takes advantage of vulnerable people and abuses them to feel power and control. The zookeeper has been connected to Voit since 2020 through his network because baby boy Vinny used the persona of the zookeeper to audition for Voit, and that's how they connected. Because if you don't remember, the way that his minions connected to him was by auditioning to him on certain forums and proving to Voit that they were psychotic enough to get his mentorship. So that's how Vinny got connected with Voit, by using zookeeper's persona, a very deranged one, to contact Voit and to audition for Voit. So the zookeeper is connected to the dark network since the very beginning of it, when the pandemic made Voit stop traveling. And what the zookeeper does is he kidnaps women, usually sex workers, because he thinks they won't be missed. And we also come to the conclusion that this was a very good strategy because, in fact, they were not missed. They were missed by their families who had absolutely no power because when they went to the authorities gave zero. So he kidnaps these women and then he grinds them down, tortures them, does horrendous things to them until they become submissive to him. But after they become submissive to him, they become boring to him. So he offs them and gets someone else, kidnaps someone else to do the exact same thing over and over and over again so that he can feel in control of his own life. Monster. Evil. Potentially one of the worst of the season because as soon as I saw those clips on the preview, I knew I was going to loathe this man. This Unsub is disgusting, but the latest woman he kidnapped is a bad bitch. And when the BAU finally, first of all, before the BAU even gets there, there's this moment, a horrendous moment. I was looking at that and I was thinking, if I was in the shoes of this woman, I would feel so absolutely powerless to do anything about my own life because this new woman that is kidnapped is in a cage, literally in a cage like an animal, and the previous woman that had been kidnapped a year before, he had a year to torture her into submission. She was outside of the cage and she did everything he asked her to do, to the point where he gave her a shaving blade and she didn't slit his throat. She was completely submissive to him. And to see this recently kidnapped victim try to convince the older victim to use the blade to slash his throat, and she just couldn't because she had been so tortured and so abused that she was completely submissive to him and she couldn't use that blade against him. I want you to imagine what someone would have to do to you for you to completely change your mindset, for your mind and the way your mind works to completely change to a point that you would do anything for the person who tortured you. But anyway, before the BAU gets there, the BAU gets to him because the boyfriend of this very submissive victim apparently was sex trafficking her. He was kind of forcing her to be in these, potentially OnlyFans. And they talk to her sister. Her sister tells the BAU that her boyfriend was sex trafficking her. They go to talk to him. He knew the Unsub because he knew that she went with him, and he gives them the Unsub's name and address, and they go there. They get to him. But before they get to him, this asshole sex trafficking boyfriend actually calls the Unsub to warn him that they are getting to him. So he goes down to his little cage area and he frees her. Well, he opens up her cage because he's going to off her because they're coming after him. And this bad bitch actually freaking overpowered him and was about to strangle him when Tyler came through the door. And Tyler convinced her to stop strangling him, to go get behind him. And Tyler had the goddamn opportunity to shoot this man. This man had a knife on his hand because he was going to take himself out, because this is what the Voit minions do. And Tyler had the opportunity to shoot his hand, his arm, his shoulder, anywhere else. And he didn't. He just stood there with his gun like this and asked him please to stop. This is why he needs 10 years of training before going to the BAU. Anyway, they get him. They don't get him because he takes himself out, but they get his hard drive and they connect him to the network, and this is how they get. Rossi offers himself to play daddy to Voit. That's going to be so much fun, guys. That's going to be so much fun. Rossi playing daddy to Voit, which is going to annoy him to no end. Reid potentially returning. I mean, good things are happening. It did cost a very beloved character's death. Oh well. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Will death and JJ's. When I said that I was going to talk about their personal lives, mostly just JJ's personal life, because I was upset at the Criminal Minds team when the revenge of JJ's at BAU Gate was kind of like just dismissed, because the moment that JJ talked to Emily about it when they were high on Garcia's couch, if you missed that, watch this video. Like, it wasn't addressed after that. And JJ was still hurting a lot. And thank you, Criminal Minds team, for bringing it back, because I need it to be properly addressed. Because we see that JJ is still terrified of the idea that someone in her vicinity is going to see these goddamn videos. And when her son is there with his friend, and his friend sees a piece of news of JJ catching a murderer, immediately she thinks, oh, they found it. They found it. Like, her face of fear that her son could, like, see those videos. I need the Criminal Mind. I need this season to address this. I need this season to take this thing down. I know it won't help because they can create a lot more, but I need it to be addressed. Especially if the Voit network is still out there, if they're still, if they are still committing crimes and they have a plan, they absolutely will use this against JJ, because JJ might care that some of the images were from Voigt's wife, Sydney, but the network will not care. And I'm terrified of the idea that they're going to use this against the BAU, against my JJ. And now that she lost her husband, I'm so sorry, you guys. Like, I am sad about Will. I like Will. I love that, like, love story in the BAU. But if this means that Reid is going to come back and they're going to make him her new love interest, because you know what I know? This is already renewed for season 19. And I would bet that one of the reasons that they were able to get it renewed is that they're going to re-spark the romance sparks between Reid and JJ. I just know it. Maybe they'll do like a big time jump between season 18 and season 19 to allow JJ to heal. And you know what's gonna give? Do you know what's gonna give? It's gonna give Fleabag, when the dad married the godmother, because you know what Reid is? Henry's godfather. Yeah. This is my review for this episode of Criminal Minds. Hopefully YouTube won't keep this video in copyright check hell, and I will be able to post it today. And yeah, in a few hours after this video comes out, check out my recap of Voit, because I need everyone to hate him as much as I do. And that's it. Anyway, guys, if you like it, leave it a like, comment, subscribe, share the video around. And if you want to support me in the work that I do here, you can, interact with the video, watch all my other videos, all of them. You can join me in my YouTube membership or at my Patreon. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and let's be delusional together. Like, bring me your theories, put them in the comments. Bye, guys.